Learn how to protect yourself from toxic individuals by setting healthy boundaries. We will explain effective strategies to maintain your well-being and avoid being manipulated by toxic people. First, here is what you can expect from narcissism. Narcissism is more than just self-love. It's a complex personality trait that can wreak havoc in relationships. Narcissists are often charming and charismatic at first glance. They draw people in with their confidence and larger-than-life personalities. But beneath this alluring exterior lies a web of manipulation and self-centeredness. At their core, narcissists have an inflated sense of self-importance. They crave admiration and attention constantly. This need for validation often comes at the expense of others' feelings and needs. Empathy is not their strong suit. They struggle to understand or care about the emotions of those around them. Relationships with narcissists can be emotionally draining. They often use tactics like gaslighting to maintain control. Recognizing narcissistic traits is the first step in protecting yourself. Look out for signs like an inability to handle criticism, a sense of entitlement, and a lack of empathy. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define where you end and others begin. They're not walls that shut people out. Instead, they're guidelines that show how you want to be treated. In any relationship, boundaries are essential for maintaining respect and individuality. But with narcissists, they become even more crucial. Without clear boundaries, relationships can become unbalanced. One person's needs may consistently overshadow the others. This is especially true when dealing with narcissists. Their tendency to prioritize their own needs can leave you feeling depleted and undervalued. Boundaries act as a shield, protecting your emotional well-being. Healthy boundaries allow you to maintain your sense of self. They give you the space to honor your own needs and values. By setting clear limits, you assert your right to have your own thoughts, feelings, and needs respected. When both parties understand and honor each other's limits, trust grows. By consistently enforcing your own, you send a clear message about how you expect to be treated. Does this make sense now? Smash the like button to let us know. Identifying the need for boundaries with narcissists is a crucial step towards self-protection. Narcissists often push limits and cross lines. They may invade your personal space, both physically and emotionally. Pay attention to how you feel after interactions with them. Do you often feel drained, anxious, or resentful? Narcissists make their problems feel like your responsibility. If you find yourself constantly trying to fix their issues, it's time to establish some limits. Recognizing this need is an act of self-love. Your feelings, needs, and personal space are just as important as anyone else's. Setting boundaries with narcissists requires a strategic approach. Start by identifying your limits. What behaviors are you no longer willing to tolerate? This could range from emotional manipulation to disrespect of your time or personal space. Be specific in defining these limits. The clearer you are about what's acceptable and what's not, the easier it will be to communicate and enforce these boundaries. Next, prioritize your boundaries. Focus on the boundaries that will have the biggest impact on your well-being. Practice self-awareness as you set these boundaries. Understand your own triggers and emotional responses. This self-knowledge will help you stay calm and composed when enforcing your limits. It's also important to anticipate resistance. Narcissists often don't respond well to boundaries, so be prepared for pushback. Remember that setting boundaries is a process, not a one-time event. Each time you assert a boundary, you're building strength and self-respect. Now we need to discuss communicating your boundaries clearly. Clear communication is key when setting boundaries with narcissists. Be direct and specific about your limits. Vague statements can be easily misinterpreted or ignored. Instead of saying, "I need more space," try, "I need at least 2 evenings a week to myself without any contact." This leaves no room for misunderstanding. Use I statements when expressing your boundaries. This focuses on your feelings and needs rather than attacking or blaming the other person. For example, say, "I feel overwhelmed when you call me multiple times a day. I need you to limit your calls to once a day unless it's an emergency." Remain calm and firm when communicating your boundaries. Narcissists may try to provoke an emotional reaction to derail the conversation. By staying composed, you maintain control of the situation. Consistency is crucial. Each time you reinforce a boundary, you're sending a clear message about your expectations. Next on the list is maintaining consistency and boundary enforcement. Consistency is the backbone of effective boundary setting, especially with narcissists. Once you've communicated your boundaries, it's crucial to enforce them consistently. This means following through on the consequences you've outlined every single time a boundary is crossed. It can be tempting to let things slide occasionally, but this sends mixed messages and undermines your efforts. Remember, narcissists are often experts at pushing limits. They may test your resolve repeatedly to see if you'll cave. By maintaining consistency, you demonstrate that your boundaries are non-negotiable. You can enforce boundaries firmly, yet respectfully. The key is to remain steady in your approach, regardless of the narcissist's reactions. Consistency also applies to your own behavior. If you've set a boundary about not responding to late-night messages, for instance, make sure you stick to it yourself. Your actions should align with the expectations you've set. Each time you consistently enforce a boundary, you're building self-respect and teaching others how to treat you. Okay, now what's the best way of dealing with boundary violations? Despite your best efforts, narcissists may still violate your boundaries. It's essential to have a plan for how to respond when this happens. First, stay calm. Reacting emotionally can give the narcissist the upper hand. Take a deep breath and remind yourself of why you set this boundary in the first place. Address the violation promptly. Don't let it slide or hope it won't happen again. Calmly but firmly, point out the boundary crossing. Be specific about which boundary was violated and how. Reiterate the consequences you've established for boundary violations. Follow through with these consequences consistently. Remember, it's not your job to manage the narcissist's reaction to your boundaries. Over time, consistent enforcement can lead to fewer violations, even from resistant narcissists. Now let's take a look at the psychological benefits of setting boundaries. Setting and maintaining boundaries with narcissists can have profound psychological benefits. First and foremost, it boosts your self-esteem. By asserting your needs and limits, you're sending a powerful message to yourself. I am worthy of respect and consideration. Boundaries also reduce stress and anxiety. When you're clear about what you will and won't tolerate, you eliminate a lot of the guesswork and tension in interactions. This clarity can bring a sense of peace and control to your life. Moreover, setting boundaries can improve your overall mental health. It helps prevent emotional exhaustion and burnout, common experiences when dealing with narcissists. By protecting your emotional energy, you have more resources to invest in positive relationships and personal growth. Lastly, enforcing boundaries can lead to more authentic relationships. Remember, quality is more important than quantity when it comes to relationships. Overcoming guilt and self-doubt. Setting boundaries with narcissists often comes with guilt and self-doubt. You might question if you're being too harsh or selfish. These feelings are normal, but recognize them as obstacles. Taking care of yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. Narcissists may make you feel guilty for asserting your needs. See these tactics as attempts to control you. Your boundaries protect you, not punish them. Remind yourself why you set these boundaries. You deserve respect and peace of mind. Identifying toxic relationships in your life. Recognizing toxic relationships is a crucial step in your journey of setting boundaries. Toxic relationships, especially those involving narcissists, often sneak up on us. They may start out seemingly perfect, only to gradually become draining and harmful. It's important to step back and objectively assess your relationships. Look for patterns of behavior that leave you feeling consistently drained, anxious, or unhappy. Do you often feel like you're walking on eggshells around certain people? Are your needs and feelings frequently dismissed or minimized? These can be signs of a toxic dynamic. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with someone. If you regularly feel worse rather than uplifted, it might be time to reevaluate the relationship. Another red flag is a constant imbalance in give and take. While all relationships have ebbs and flows, consistently feeling like you're giving much more than you're receiving is a warning sign. Remember, identifying toxic relationships doesn't necessarily mean you have to cut people out of your life entirely. Now let's discuss self-care and support systems. When dealing with narcissists and setting boundaries, self-care becomes more important than ever. It's easy to get caught up in the drama and forget to take care of yourself. Make self-care a non-negotiable part of your routine. This could involve activities like exercise, meditation, or pursuing a hobby you enjoy. The key is to regularly engage in activities that replenish your emotional energy. Develop a strong support system. Surround yourself with people who understand and respect your boundaries. These could be friends, family members, or a support group for people dealing with narcissists. Having a network of supportive individuals can provide validation and encouragement when you're struggling to maintain your boundaries. Consider seeking professional help. A therapist or counselor can provide valuable insights and strategies for dealing with narcissists. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a good friend. Section 12. Empowering yourself. The journey to healthier relationships. Embarking on the journey of setting boundaries with narcissists is an act of self-empowerment. It's about reclaiming your right to be treated with respect and consideration. Remember, this is a process, not a one-time event. Be patient with yourself as you learn and grow in this area. Reflect on your progress regularly. Celebrate the small victories, like each time you successfully enforce a boundary. These moments of success build upon each other, gradually increasing your confidence and strength. Now is the time to consider subscribing as we continue our journey into narcissism, so we can provide you with facts and solutions when dealing with narcissistic people. See you in our next video.